All right, what's back on the Bossman show? In front of the show, Coach Pat Skerry, Towson Tigers out here in the CAA. Coach, good to see you again. How you doing, man?
It's great to see you, my man. I love that hat. That's big time right there.
Oh yeah, I love it. Hey, the Hawks blue is this blue is nice. I love it. We should make this I ain't says our we should make this our main colors. That there's this cream is blue. It looks good on us, man. Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, you got a big game coming up here tomorrow night on CBS Sports Radio, CBS Sports TV, man, with Hofstra, man. Coach, what you saying from those guys on film, from playing Speedy, we'll see he's doing his program up there.
Yeah, Hofstra's really good. They've been, along with us and Wilmington and Charleston the last few years, right at the top of the league. And I wouldn't anticipate anything different from them. They're really, really good on the defensive end of the floor. They move well, they're connected, they're well prepared. So we've got to make sure we run good offense. And then they went in the portal, got a couple good, really good guards in Cruz Davis and Arrington. And those guys are both like 6'3" versatile guys that can score in different ways. And they do a good job of utilizing those two.
No doubt, coaching for you all. You're 8-9 on the year. You're 4-1 at home, 3-1 in CAA. Talk about just getting this team together, because in college basketball now you have a new team pretty much every year, and getting guys to jail and play the right way. So, about that process for your guys, and just trying to get them on the same page now that you got 17 games in, 14 games to go in a normal year before tournament time. How you want this guy to keep getting better and getting the right habits and playing the right way?
Well, you hit it right at the end there. You've got to keep getting better. We've got a veteran group with a lot of guys back. We had a hard non-conference, didn't play as well as we'd liked, and had a lot of injuries and guys out of games. And, we scheduled aggressively, but we've hit the league, and hopefully we're starting to catch our stride, because we do believe in the group. You touched on something when we were off air. This group's got to be careful we don't get bored with the habits of getting better, closeouts and ball screen rotations and transition D and getting our extra work in and film. And so, I don't think we will, but it's obviously something we've got to be mindful of, because if you don't get better, some of the teams that you're trying to compete against will surpass you.
No doubt, Coach. You had a big weekend, big week last week, rather. You played at home against Eastern. Bill does a great job there. Then had to go to Philadelphia and play at Drexel, where Zach does a great job. Talk about playing those two teams pretty much on a back-to-back one-day prep, and having the camp you got locked and loaded on that game plan to actually execute the right way, one at home and one on the road.
Yeah, we had a great weekend. We beat two good teams, and we were fortunate. We kind of stole Saturday at Drexel. Was a back and forth game, and Nenda Tark made two spectacular 3-point shots in the last 65 seconds to send it to overtime. And we've started to play well on offense, which we were struggling early, and that's exciting, because I believe in our talent. But it's like, hey, you play well on offense, you can't forget the other side of the ball, and
Yeah, right.
that's what we've got to make sure tomorrow night, that can we play with great force, great energy on the defensive end of the floor, like our teams normally do, and then combine that with shot making.
No doubt. And coach, kind of using your defense to trigger your offense, getting stops, getting out of transition, getting out there playing fast that way. Because I think sometimes young men forget this. If you play tough defense, you can really simplify your offense, being in transition, getting to your break sets and getting easy offense that way.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. So a lot of times guys are, sometimes their happiness is predicated on shot making, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So you've got to do those other things. We try to use the old adage with them. Our defense wins us the game. Offense just tells us by how many. So I'm really hoping that Hofstra's a good team, so we got to play well. But I'm hoping along the lines that we play the right way, so that we can and do that for longer stretches, so that we can keep this thing moving the way we think we can.
No doubt, coaching for you, man. you kind of mentioned earlier in the answer about the competitive non-conference skills you had playing those tough games. Some of them very very close that you didn't get to go your way, but now with we getting some overtime win now. So talk about with a veteran group having that opportunities to play close games, not go your way, but able to teach to it now and go look at the film and say, hey, had we executed this way, got this block out, or maybe this free throw could have been a different result for us. And now we got to make it count now going to January, February, and of course into March Madness.
Yeah, there's no experience like game experience, and I think it toughens you up, hards you up a little bit. We also got to play some different guys. We're missing two preseason all conference players and the non-conference and some close losses against good teams. So I think some other guys have grown and developed by being in those situations. And a positive of our group is there is no like fear factor. There's a quiet confidence about them that they have in each other. So that can be good. You just try to remind them, Bossman, as a coach, that you don't want to play with fire a lot either because you can get burnt when you do that.
Sir, you got there right, coach. You got there right, man. Because you playing to because the law averages don't catch up with you one way or another. So
It can.
you
Yeah.
got you got there right, coach. And also, man, let me ask you, coach. You have multiple guys scoring in double figures as well. The ball's moving around there. You got not too top heavy per se. But how important is to you have balance scoring, keeping the energy in that ball, keeping guys engaged offensively by getting this some shots there, getting some offense for them. So how important that has been for your team this year as well, coach.
Yeah, it does. One of my assistants, Parfait Bate, always says that the ball gives energy, right? So you try to harp on ball movement, and we're starting to see the kind of the depth of our group. I think in the last 2 or 3 games, we've had 4 different guys get 20 points, which is exciting because it gives us some options. We've got to make sure we have some consistency as well, because the flip side is then you got to, if you don't have consistency, then you got to figure out, oh, am I putting the right guys in? Am I pushing the right buttons? Who needs to play, especially in the last 8-10 minutes of the game?
No doubt, coach. That's something that we had the Hawks to figure out too. With after Trey Young, who scored number 2 and 3.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we figured out it's going to be DeAndre Hunter and Johnson. But in the beginning of the season, it was who's number 2 scorer and who's three.
yeah.
Then we kind of fell in the rotation with Trey, Jalen, and DeAndre Hunter. So you're right, coach. I see there. I witnessed it right myself with the Hawks every day. How it matured until we got our pecking order of how we scored and how we get offense.
Yeah, that's why my hair's a lot grayer than the last time you see me. You know what I mean? We haven't quite been consistent enough.
And coach, man, against man, and you rebounding the ball, y'all rebounding your opponents. Talk about how important it is getting that collective rebounding in the business with a rebound defensively, offensively crashing when you can. So, how emphasis you put on that for your guys to make sure that you all really out rebound opponents every night.
Yeah, it's a huge piece. This group's starting to do that at a high level. Most of our teams have. Steal something from I saw with Buzz Williams like over a month ago. This group's also done a great job of taking care of the ball. Hopefully that continues. But when we were shooting poorly, one of our tenets was take care of it and rebound it, because if we get more shots, we'll eventually find our way. And if you take care of it and you rebound it, you're going to get more shots, and you're just increasing your odds. So that's I like, as simple as that sound. I like when Buzz had said that. So we're really trying to pound that ball security, glass, get more shots.
No doubt, coach. You're averaging less than 10 a game, turnover wise, 9 points some. So that's very important because they say if you have the ball, you can score the ball. If you don't have the ball, you don't need it. They can't
It's
score
hard,
the ball.
yeah. It's hard if you don't, right? I mean, there's nothing more harmful in team sports than turnovers, especially live ball turnovers. There's no in basketball. There's no defense for that.
100%. Coach Baskets, you had a good little break between the 22nd game and the game on January 2nd. So how'd you use that game to kind of get guys healthy, kind of self-scout a little bit, kind of put some things in motion that you want to do when you got in CAA play? So how'd you use that little 10-day break that you all had for Christmas there to kind of improve the roster in more ways than one?
Good question. I think we self-studied ourselves pretty good, and then we had a tough stretch between guys being out of the lineup and the flu running through the group, where we had like one real practice in 18 days. So what did happen is after a couple day break, Christmas, we were able to have 6, 7 days of good hard practice and get back into a rhythm, and hopefully that's starting to pay off now, especially offensively, right? Timing and spacing and ball movement, so we are still trying to play a lot in practice because we want to kind of maintain that, but we've also got to keep like I said earlier, keep trying to improve.
And Coach, I never asked you this question before, so it's our third time having you on the show, Coach. So for you, I'll have these Thursday, Saturday games. Like, how do you use that to prep during the week? Do you kind of combine both opponents, or do you kind of focus on that Thursday opponent and try to work on Friday that what on you have on the weekend because you got to travel, or if you're at home?
Yeah, great question. I hate it. All the coaches in our league hate it, but we don't pay the bills, and it's a AD decision. That's why we play Thursday, Saturday. But if it was up to me, we wouldn't. It's not good for recovery or student athlete welfare or game prep or any of those things, in my opinion. But we'll spend all week getting ready for Hofstra. We're usually off Sundays, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Friday, we'll have 2 walkthroughs for this week for Stony Brook. One at our regular practice time, one in the evening. And then we'll have our shoot around on game day. So we normally spend 3 different segments for each team. But Monday is in a little, Tuesday too is still heavy about us trying to get better. We might tweak some things. Hey, we're going to put this in this week and gives us a couple of days to get ready for it. But that's how we prep. Myself, what I will do is starting like on Sunday, I'll watch like 2 or 3 Hofstra games, and then Monday a couple Hofstra games, and then Wednesday a couple Hofstra, and like But I'll also watch one Stony Brook game Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not on game day. So when we do flip the script, I'm not coming in totally cold. We have an assistant that has Stony Brook and does a great job with that, and they all do really, our whole staff. But I'll at least have a feel for that Saturday team as he starts to walk through. Like, hey, we're playing the Hawks. This is the stuff we're going to cover. This is what we got to be aware of, and I feel like that way I can. There's more productive feedback that way. I can say, well, why? Like, I saw them do this. Like, is that something we got to worry about? Or he might say, they don't do it a lot. We don't need to spend time on that. So I'll trust my guys that way. But I want to have a little bit of I don't want to be coming in cold. It's not enough time really to get ready.
No doubt, especially with your league has grown the way it has, CA, and especially with travel, because I can only imagine going from your place to Philadelphia, or you to go from Boston back down to your place. I'm like, this is without any, it's crazy, man. I don't envy your position.
Yeah, it's not. Like I said, it's not ideal for. There's not any coach that would say it's ideal, but we got to you got to deal with it.
No doubt, Coach. I'm gonna ask you a little light question for you. You got Mike Vrabel back in New England. Guy I know very very well from his time with the Tennessee Titans. So talk about how happy I have Vrabes back in the fold for your Pats, man.
Is Tom Brady back too?
No, I don't think he's back.
you know, yeah, I think it's exciting up there. It's I think we've got to look at the roster and spend some money. I as a big Vrabel fan, I did a good job in Tennessee. Like any coach, though, he was a better coach when he had Derrick Henry. And I do think the whole situation was just a little weird with uh, Coach Mayo because I don't know. I don't think any guy can do his job in 1 year. So I thought that was really bizarre. If you didn't want to hire a guy, don't hire a guy. But if you're going to hire a guy, I think you got to give him some time. Just this from the pro game. It'd be interesting to see if Vrabel, assuming he's going to have a lot more input with the draft and player person, and some of those things. Because I always remember what Bill Parcells used to say: they want you to cook the food, but they don't want you to buy the groceries.
No, I remember that quote very, very well. And like I said, for me, my uncle coaches at St. John's Prep in west of Peabody. So he always said send me Patriot stuff as a kid. So I have Curtis Martin jerseys,
Oh yeah,
Bledsoe jerseys. So
yeah, yeah.
by products, because my uncle coaches up there at St. John's Prep, and he's been there for years. I still get a. I've become a Boston fan by proxy. He sends me stuff no matter what. So it's something.
That's cool. That's great. That's great.
Billy, like Billy O and my uncle are very close.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
Billy
That's
O,
really cool.
he knows it very well. So I definitely keep an eye up that way. So we go to Boston after the Chicago trip. So I'm gonna go spend time with my uncle. So as I always say, I hope so I'm gonna have a good time up there on this trip we have here. So kind of a second home for me up there is Massachusetts.
All right. Cold this time of year. You're gonna need that hat, maybe some gloves.
Hey, coach, I got my big fur coat in the back here with me, my gloves and my long johns. I'm ready to go, coach.
You're gonna need them.
Yes, sir. Well, coach, good catching with you as always, coach. I will cheer for you tomorrow night against Hofstra. Hopefully, we'll chat again in March, coach, when you go to the big dance.
From your lips to God's ears. I hope so.
Yes, sir. Coach, fun as always, coach.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.